Welcome back to CSGB Racing. We're here once again with the F1 guys for the sprint race at Zandvoort. We had the feature race as well as qualifying last night. So we're in for a pretty good race if last night's was anything to go by. So yes, no Dane tonight by the looks of things. Not too sure where he is. So it will be just me here in the commentary. Just waiting now to load into the game. So yeah, so last night we saw a very dominant drive from Jimbo. Hello Devi, how's it going mate? So yes, last night very dominant performance from Jimbo, and that McLaren got his first pole of the season, I believe, his first race win, at least in CSGB from what I saw after the race. So he'll be starting at the back today, I believe. Vapor Trench will be right at the back because he just signed up earlier. Yeah, not too bad. You done much practicing around here, or you going in blind? Dry all the way through? I would assume so. Judging by how light the weather is now. So yeah, just waiting now for drivers to start their strategy. Just it will be a one stop for everyone. Now, are you just saying that for mind games, or? Yeah, okay, you're confirming it is dry. Alright. Yep, yeah, Ferrari right at the front then. Olga Trainman alongside Hindle for the start of this race. Further down then, Bradley and Trixie on the second row ahead of Sven and Roimsey. Jay Prentice will line up in 7th ahead of Vapor Shea. And then Rainman down in 9th, first driver to start on the medium tyres, trying something a little bit different on that alternative strategy. Further down we have Netsky down in P10. Eklund in 11th ahead of Timmy in 12th, last night's race winner. Jimbo down in 13th then, has Kazakhs behind him. Also starting on the medium tyres, and then Vapor Train, just brand new to the league. So he would have missed last night, starting down in 15th place. In a minute, my phone's ringing. What's this? So yeah, it should be a one stop for everyone, pitting possibly I reckon it'll be around sort of lap 6, maybe lap 7. And then for the two on the mediums it will be a bit later, probably stopping between 10 and 13 I would guess. Yep, front two seems to have flown around that formation lap. Rest of the guys just catching up now. So it will be a one stop for everyone. I think even if you pick up damage on this first lap, it's still quite an easy one stop, because you also have the hard tyres as well. They'll definitely make it 17 laps. The last couple of cars now slotting into the grid. Obviously brand new Renault full-time driver down at the back. We'll see what he can do on his debut for CSGB Racing. As the lights come on now. And we go green in the north of Holland. Looks like Hindle may have gotten a better start at the front row and have the inside line for turn 1. Trainman is forced to leave the space to the racing point, but will hold it all the way around the outside. Now coming up into turn 2. Oh, sorry, turn 3. Trainman has held that position. It's saying Netsky's up in front. I do not believe that is the case. See Netsky starting down in P10. Looks like it's clean though. Doesn't look like we have any damage further down. Bradley there still running in what will be 3rd place. As Shuxley gets very wide onto the grass coming out of 9. seem to have held it there. Sven then in P5, Agunetski's dropped back. So he has gained positions. I'm now into 8th, so he's gained a couple there. Jimbo's... No, that's where he started, wasn't it? Yep. A little bit confused with last night. Kazak's good start, gained a couple of positions as well. Timmy now dropped down to the back, so I think that Mercedes may have wing damage. No, okay. Just not quite getting those tyres switched on quite yet. Rainman has dropped back at the start. I think he started 8th. It's clearly not getting those tyres up to where he wanted quite yet. Rainman is starting to pull away. Out in front. Apparently Shea is now leading. You can see here he clearly isn't. I think he is back with just ahead of Netsky by the looks of things, so running sort of P8 I think. Yeah, seems to have a very clean start. No one got damage, which is just a little bit surprising around here. The first corner does come at you pretty quickly and the braking zone isn't that heavy. So that may be why. Then as Trixie and Bradley go side by side coming through turn 11, Trixie will try and go around the outside, but there's nothing going for him there. However, looks to have gotten a bit of a slingshot coming out of the corner, as I think Rainman's spun at turn 11. Yeah, Bradley will hold that position for now then, just running up in the P3. So we're waiting for some of the quicker guys to come through the field if it's possible around here. The overtaking is very difficult. Which is why it was important to get a clean start, which I think everyone has. I think Rainman just had a spin though, which is the reason why he's now dropped back to 15th. The drivers then head through the first sector now. It's quite a long first sector. Over half the corners are positioned in it, of the 8 of the 15. In sector 1. You see Trixie still right on the back of Bradley there. Lock up from one of them. I think that was Trixie just trying to avoid hitting the back of the Mercedes. Tries to get the inside for 11. Looks to have gone as a little bit of contact. As you can see, a very nice heli cam here. Now running down into the chicane. Apologies for that short break. Should be back on it now then. It's like Sven's got in amongst the action there, just about missed. Battle between Bradley and Trixie, so Bradley held the position. Sven now gets past the Renaults. We have yellow flags at turn 1, that's Jimbo going round. So he had a heroic day yesterday, doesn't quite look to be having the same performance today. I would assume that that's just clipping the curb at the first corner. As now Netsky up into 5th place, gets past Trixie on the inside of turn 8. The Renault does have front wing damage by the looks of things. So lock up again, and there's contact very well held though from Rhymesy. And he's off again though. He held the first contact, but then I believe as he tried to get back onto the racing line, there was another tap with one of the cars, may have been Jay Prentice. Not too sure about that. The front two have just pulled away, however, almost 5 seconds now between second and third. As Netsky gets past, someone's gone off there, it's Trixie in the Renault, and we have some sort of full course caution. Front two have missed out on this. If it's a safety car, these front two have really lost out, and it is a safety car. This may severely hinder these front two. Okay, they're going to lose the gap that they had. Netsky then comes out in third, as he just about managed to dive into the pit lane in time. Jay Prentice will now go into fourth, so he's gained a couple of positions there. Kazak's up into P6. Benefited him very well. Sven in 7th has lost out a bit. Yeah, well pointed out in chat there. This front two, I believe everyone still has to run at a delta, so they wouldn't have lost out completely. So if the delta goes away once the leaders caught the safety car, and the leaders didn't manage to pit, then Bradley now into the pits. I'm not sure what happened to Bradley then, because he dropped. I think he dropped back because he was behind his teammate coming into the pit lane, so he may have just lost the car somewhere. May have been an issue with Trixie, because I believe they're both running up in like second and third, or no, third and fourth. Front two now into the pit lane. Will they stay out ahead? I think they will. Yep, the top two will stay out as first and second. However, Netsky right behind them. This track, yes, it looked a little bit of maybe a weaker track for Netsky. Obviously, we saw him last week in France, dominating the field pretty much. Was on pole by I think 6 tenths, and then got screwed over by a safety car in the feature race, but still came back to win it. Yesterday we didn't see the ultimate pace from him, but he might still get a podium from yesterday after the stewards' reports, as I personally believe his penalty was unfair, as he couldn't have done much about when he went off track, which gave him that final warning. But we'll see what the stewards decide. Won't be probably until, I think might have been late last week when the stewards' reports came out, but obviously the owners here are doing a fantastic job, so they're doing the best that they can. Yeah, we'll possibly have one more lap on the safety car, just waiting for a couple more cars to catch up to the back of the field. Kazakhs and Rayman were forced to go into the softs. They should be alright. The softs do last a while here, but it will be tight on their tyre wear. They may have had to go for the hards. So we'll see if they can hold the pace towards the end of the race. The Kazakhs will be looking to improve at the field. I believe Kazakhs was on pole for the first race, if you look back 4 weeks. As a McLaren into the pits, that is Jimbo. Possibly putting on softs. And he does, okay. Gonna quickly have a look, see if any penalties for drivers. So a quick flick through. 5 seconds for Timmy. Yeah, excuse me. Eklund also with 5 seconds. 2 penalties for Bradley on 1 lap. And that's it, just those 3 drivers there with pens. Jimbo has quite quickly caught up to the back of the field. So he nearly got screwed over by a safety car yesterday, but chose to stay out, which the safer option, track position, is so much more important around here. And then it worked out for him, he obviously won the race. But we will have, I believe, if safety car comes in this lap, 12 laps of racing left. So we'll find out now. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap. So we'll go on board with our leader for now. Once we start to get going, we'll look backwards, just look forwards for now so we can see what they're going to do. So the safety car still very much on the track, and a little bit slowly potentially. Treyman will not be able to bolt just yet, though he seems to have gone for it. Also caught Hindle napping a little bit. Netsky, however, right on the back. He's been held up, however. Safety car wasn't in the pit lane, so he was forced to brake. Now Netsky sweeping a little bit, coming down into the first corner, not quite able to capitalise on anything. Racing Point currently running 2nd and 4th, so that's looking very good for them, as Kazakhs goes on the outside of Shea at turn 1. We'll be looking to get the most out of those soft tyres. So he's currently sitting in 5th place. driver has now come down through turn 8 for the 8th time. Very tricky corner. We saw a couple of mistakes here in qualifying. I don't think anyone went off there in the race. Now coming through the middle sector. Natsuki looking very quick on the back of Hindle. We're looking to make a move. As DRS not activated just yet. They got one more lap after this one before we get the drag reduction system coming into play. However, Netsuke we're looking to make this move before that happens, I believe. Riding ball with the AlphaTauri, then through turn 14. We'll come out now through the final corner, completely flat F1 cars. Netsuke not looking to get a full slipstream of Hindle down towards turn 1, so maybe waiting for the DRS, which he will have into turn 12 next lap. But may definitely try something before yellow flags in the first corner. I think Sven's gone round. Jimbo comes back into the pits, who got damage on his wing. Looks like Rainman and Sven got involved in something down at turn 1. As Netsuki gets past, goes up the inside of turn 8. Following Netsuki up into second, now trying to catch the leader. And Sven's retired at turn 4. Drivers have backed off, possibly a VSC. And we have another safety car. Okay then, why has Netsuki overtaken Trainman? Did he spin? I think Netsuki's just got the lead there. Trainman spun on the curb at turn 11. And then Netsuki was allowed to overtake him due to the Ferrari going slow. So Netsuki's just got gifted the lead essentially there. See, as the Ferrari was slow, Netsuki would have been allowed to overtake. And he won't be able to give that position back because otherwise Trainmen will get an illegal overtake. So Netsuki into the lead on lap 9, but we're on lap 10 now. Ekelund comes back into the pit lane. This safety car will really help out Jimbo, like a lot. They picked up front wing damage on the first or second lap after the safety car came in. So it's come back into the pits. We'll stay down in 13th, however. As Rainman comes out of the pits, we'll stay ahead of him. Yeah, the field does get bunched up once more. Then we'll look at the position changes that we can see. Netsuki then has gained 9 positions at the moment, currently leading. Started down in P10 after a 4th place finish yesterday. Trainman has lost 1, was on pole. Hindle has also lost 1, started on the front row alongside the Ferrari. Jay Prentice up 3, so currently good result for Racing Point today, currently sitting 3rd and 4th, will be decent points for them going towards the constructors. Kazakhstan sits in his lone Red Bull in P5, also up 9 positions, started down in 14th, I believe. So no Tri-B this week, so Kazakhstan has it all to play for the Northamptonshire outfit. Then behind him we have Vapor Shea, joined by Vapor Trench. P6 and 7, I'm going to guess they're in the same esports team by their gamer tag, but it could just be a trend. Then behind them we have Rhymesy in the Alfa Romeo, again the lone Alpha there, down in P8. As a Mercedes comes into the pit lane, that is Timmy. So that's now Bradley up into P9. Has unfortunately lost 6 positions, started at the front after finishing towards the back yesterday. Ekelund then sits in P10 ahead of Rainman and Jimbo. Both had pretty decent races yesterday. I haven't quite had the luck of it today, and then Timmy now after that pit stop drops down to last. So we also have Vapor Trench there up 8 positions. It's a decent race for him so far on his debut here for CSGB. Have a look at pit stops. 3 stops for Jimbo, 2 stops for Ekelund, Rainman and Timmy. And then the rest all on the 1 stop. Tyres, this is going to really help out Kazakhs in the race. Obviously on those softs, was forced to go to softs. It was soft to hards as they started on the medium. As safety car should come in at the end of this lap, we will have 9, 8, 7. One of those three numbers of laps of racing left. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap. I think we'll have 7 laps left. So the safety car once again just not pulling away at the front. Netski forced to go really slowly if he wants to get any sort of run on Trainman, who of course went out of turn 14 on the last restart. Won't be able to bolt yet. Just see his throttle trace is steady at the moment. I think he just turned his battery up away and finally bolts there as he comes out to the final corner. It's a little bit closer further behind us, like Hindle trying to get past Trainman coming down into turn 1, nothing like that. Although Kazakh's once again round the outside of a racing point, I think he's pulled it off, he has as well. Kazakh's now up into P4, did that same move on Vaporshea. On the last restart, Jay Prentice now down to P5. Eklund's gained a position on Rhymesy, I believe Jimbo's up into P9, what a very good restart from him. Vapor Trench however drops down to 12th, Rainman stays in 11th. Timmy also got a good restart there. By the looks of things, got up into P10. So Jimbo and Timmy both working their way up the field. To go back to Kazakhstan, putting pressure on Hindle for that final podium position. I think Bradley lost a few positions there as well as Trench. Not too sure what happened to them. They both seem to be on the back of the track or back of the train. Kazakh's now through 14, now through 15, flat out in an F1 car. We'll probably be flat out for GTs this weekend. We'll have to wait and see after the new modifications. I think that safety car might have allowed Kazakhs to go to the end easily. He's already been on them for 7 laps and he's had another 7 to push for. Tries to pressure onto Hindle. Netski just seems to be controlling it a little bit at the front. We'll need to break that second gap, however, before the end of this lap to avoid giving Trainman a DRS. Joe Prine doesn't quite seem to have the pace at this point either. Running in P5. So he got overtaken by Kazakhs at turn 1 on the restart. As he now, was that him under pressure? No, it's not. It's Shea under pressure from Eklund. It's a position for the Haas car into turn 12. Eklund after his provisional podium yesterday. But third place could either go to Eklund or Netski, so depending on what the stewards decide. Let's come side by side. Jimbo would send up into P7, gets past Shea into turn 1. Those soft, fresh tyres should be treating him very nicely right now. So he got a very good restart, went from 12th to 9th. And has then gotten past a couple more cars. I think Rhymesy, which I missed that move, possibly into turn 12. And then he's just gone past Shea into turn 1. So Eklund gets very close to the back of Jay Prentice there through 9. Jimbo have a look up the inside of the Haas. Eklund just holding it for now. Jimbo will try around the outside, might try and get a switch back. So both cars do have the DRS running down towards turn 12. Jimbo getting very close, but nothing happening this time around. As behind them, one of the Renaults go very deep. That's Trench. Goes across the gravel. Is going to come on right in front of the Mercedes. It's very tight, but no contact between them. Down at the front now, over 2 seconds. Netski, I believe, just set the fast lap of the race. As Hindle tries to put pressure onto Trainman, whoever does have Kazakhs for company right behind him. Behind them, Eklund and Jay Prentice then going side by side on the exit of turn 1. Has Jimbo right behind them. And he's actually going to send up the inside, but Jay Prentice tries it around the outside of 4. And I think one of them's off. Which one is it? It's Eklund. Thought that may have been Jimbo that spun them, but he managed to hold it. May have been a little bit of a tap, but that is Ekeland out of the race after his podium yesterday. No safety car this time around, however, or virtual safety car. That's Jimbo now up into P6, looking like a very strong week for the McLaren driver. I believe jumped up into, I know it's top 3 in the championship, he might be second behind Netscape. The silly Sly guy here, oh sorry, not here. Once again tonight, he's losing out ground. TRC James also not here tonight, I believe dropped to 6th place after last night. Might lose a couple more positions now today in that championship. As Jimbo will have the DRS, however, doesn't have any battery coming down towards turn 1. That'll be fairly easy for Jay Prentice to defend. Still has quite a bit of battery in that racing point. Timmy then also right behind them, seems to have followed Jimbo through with the restart. Kazakh still trying to put pressure on for that podium, however Hindle is holding his own, as well as putting a little bit of pressure onto Train Man ahead of him. So now coming to the second sector. Gaps have started to sort of open up a little bit. Netski seems to have pulled the trigger out in front. Now almost 4 seconds between first and second. However, Hindle will be very close on Train Man coming down into turn 12. You can't really go side by side through there. There's a little bit of contact. All of them hit each other, and I think Train Man might lose 2 positions there. He's forced, Kazakh's forced to leave space on the exit. However, it's going to be very tight between the pair of them now as they go side by side through 15. I think Train Man would just about hold that. Kazakhs does slow him behind. Don't believe if we just try it, Kazakhs does try it back up the inside, however, the exit of turn 1. Nothing going for him there, so Train Man did, I'd say he did quite well there to hold off Kazakhs. Obviously, both Hindle and Train Man got a little bit of a nudge from behind there into 12. They seem to have now 5 seconds for Netsky there, unless someone gets it wrong through the exit of 8. Jimbo a little bit further behind this battle, but I think he might be closing up a little bit, as Timmy now comes right onto the... Again, not quite contact there as Romsey locks up. Jimbo is catching the guys ahead very quickly, has gained, I think, 8 tenths there through sector 2. Right up to the line now, 1.5 seconds behind the battle for... I guess that's still the battle for second. Hindle not quite pulling away yet as Timmy does get past Jay Prentice down into turn 1. We'll go around the outside, as we've seen from Kazakhs a couple times this race. You can carry a little bit more speed there, so you are able to just hold it a little bit. Hindle now up front, just trying to pull away a little bit. Someone has no battery there, that is Jay Prentice. Just caught that briefly. So we are onto the final lap of the race, so you can expect batteries to be a little bit low, as Trench gets a fastest sector 2 time of the race. Apologies for stream quality. Seems to have dropped a little bit as Romsey stays ahead of Trench, I believe that is. And we cut to the leader then, coming through the final corner on the final lap of the race. Has 7 seconds now back to Hindle behind him. Netsky will win your sprint race here at Circuit Zandvoort for CSGB Racing here for the F1 guys. Hindle will keep second as Kazakhs gets third. Train Man had penalties, or a penalty, that's how tight these guys were. So Kazakhs up into P3. Jimbo then, after winning yesterday, gets a P4. Very good drive from him. Obviously he got a little bit unlucky, so that race was pretty much 0 to hero for Jimbo in that McLaren. Didn't have the best of starts, got front wing damage, but brought it back to finish 4th. The Kazakhs, I think, 14th up to 3rd. In the end there, Netsky 10th to 1st. So a lot A lot of good driving out there by a lot of them. I think Rainman didn't quite work out for him today. Racing Point were looking strong at one point. Obviously, very good pace from Hindle. Seems to like this track a lot. We haven't quite seen this pace yet from him, but this could be something to come for, I think, the British driver. So we can just see the flag very briefly at the top of the screen. And here's your final classification then. Netsky has taken the win for the CSGB F1 sprint race here at Zandvoort after starting P10. Hindle then takes P2 after another good drive from him. And then Kazuk takes the final podium position. Jimbo will take 4th after winning yesterday. And Trainman will finish in 5th. Behind them then we have Timmy in 6th. Ahead of Jay Prentice, Vapor Shea, Romsey and Vapor Trench down running out the top 10. CSGB Rainman then will finish in 11th, and then Brady is the last finisher in 12th. Non-finishers then Ekelund, Sven and Trixie. Of course, 2 of those incidents causing safety cars. So Trixie went off, I think, on the exit of 14. Sven went off, looked like mid-corner turn 4. That seems to be it. The countdown does not seem to be ending, so I'm just going to exit as myself. Save myself 20 seconds, but that will be it then for today. Thank you very much to all watching in stream. Cheers to Dovey as well, or Dovey. I actually don't know how to pronounce your last name, so apologies for that. Your comments obviously through the race, letting us know it was dry as well, that's very helpful, so cheers for that. Thank you for watching, thank you for joining us in the stream. Please leave a like, leave a comment, obviously as we've seen here. Share the stream as well. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you can join us in about half an hour for the F2 race. If not, we'll catch you next week for F1. Same time, Monday at 7 PM. Thank you for watching. Catch you next